All right, Pacific Wildlife Care Center rescues and rehabilitates wild animals across San Luis Obispo County.
Yeah, our Patty Pyburn is in Morro Bay right now with a look inside. Hey, Patty.
Good morning, Sarah and Randall. Yeah, we're inside the center here in Morro Bay where they take care of injured birds. That's just one very small piece of the work they do here because they care for all native wildlife that may get into trouble across San Luis Obispo County. So it's a big job. And this morning we're joined by Claudia Duckworth. And Claudia, I just have to say that you have a very appropriate name for the volunteer work that you do here. Good morning. And you have some information about what it is that you do when it comes to seabirds. Again, just a very small piece of the work done here.
It is a small piece of the work we do, but it's also one of the most challenging because seabirds are intensive care birds. And when we're talking about seabirds, we're talking about what are called pelagic birds, which are birds that spend their entire lives on the open ocean. That doesn't include gulls and pelicans, which we're very familiar with that live around us. These are birds that most people never see, and the only time they come on land is because they're sick, injured, or oiled. So right now we have two birds that are pelagic birds in our care. One is a western grebe who is oiled, and this is a picture of a western grebe. Grebes are the birds that in nature films you often see. They show their mating dance, which is they stand up on the water and run together as a pair. It's very dramatic and very beautiful. That's what this bird is. And then we have a bird called a northern fulmar that if you saw him, you'd think he was just a gull unless you look closely and you realize he has a structure on his bill that's called a tube nose, and it's a something that they have that allows them to get rid of salt because they never have access to fresh water.
Okay.
So anyway, so we have him, and he lives out in the open ocean, and he lives on copepods, which are plankton that are high in fat. So you would never see these birds, but he's here because we're not exactly sure what's wrong with him, but he's very weak, needs our help.
So tell us about what's here and on the table, some of the tools. And I know that some of our volunteers are going to go get the fulmar ready to show us on camera. We're going to go in the ICU in just a moment, but show us what we have here on the table.
Okay, well, because seabirds do live on the open ocean, when they come on land, they start developing problems almost immediately because they're not in water. And so these are some of the things we do to try to mitigate those problems, which are apart from why they're here. You're on kind of a timeline with seabirds. You need to get them in water as quickly as possible, or they do start developing these problems. So among the things we do, we put them on a netted bottom, which supports their keel, which is the breastbone, and they can develop actual bed sore type sores on them unless we protect that keel. So this netted bottom is one way we do that. We protect the bird from stress by covering them. This is actually something that we put a donut around their chest to keep their keel off of the hard surface, and we put little booties on their feet to protect them from rubbing on the surface because they develop joint and foot problems. So we work very hard to protect them from the problems of being on land. We also
Because just being here at the center is stressful for them. In order to give them the treatment they need, they actually develop problems from just being here because they're not in their environment.
Exactly. And also they're being handled by people, which we're predators to them. The noise, all of the things that they're not used to. It's just like any of us. It's stressful. There's change in diet that's stressful.
Claudia, let's go in the ICU because we're going to show the viewers another thing that you do for the birds, and we have some volunteers in here this morning. We're going to open the door here and let our cameraman, Aaron, follow us in. And tell us about what is happening. I'm going to just switch spots with you, Aaron. Okay, go ahead.
This is our little fulmar, and you may be able to see the structure on the top of his bill that I talked about that makes him a tube nose. They're beautiful little birds. They're tubing him. They're giving him fluid. Birds that are ocean birds need lots of fluid, so we are tubing fluid. It doesn't hurt the bird. They tolerate it very well. And then we put him in a pool. Your viewers won't be able to know, but this room is very, very warm. We keep it warm. We monitor the temperature of the pool water to keep it warm because he's quite a weak bird. And we also monitor his temperature to be sure that he's doing well. And then we will cover the pool to eliminate the stress on the bird of our going in and out. And you can see Virginia right now is checking the temperature of the pool to be sure that it's the right temperature for him.
So being in here with our camera and our microphone and stuff is a little stressful. You're letting us in this morning because we want to share this with our viewers, but typically you do everything possible to keep them covered, quiet, calm, because process of caring for them is an additional stress and sometimes too much for them.
Exactly. That's I can't put it better. That's exactly true.
So the importance of the pool is to try to get the birds quickly back into the water. Is that
Right. And one aspect we didn't talk about is the whole problem of waterproofing for these birds. Their feathers are like a wetsuit, and oftentimes they come in and that wetsuit has been disrupted and the bird gets cold, and they will die. They will die very shortly if that waterproofing isn't corrected or they're not taken out of water. We have an oiled bird right now that I can talk a little bit about. You're going to see an exam
we'll
of
see
him
him
later.
coming up, right? Claudia, I feel like I could talk with you for the rest of the day just on this one topic. We know too that if there was an oil spill here on the Central Coast, that your center would be the ground zero for caring for injured birds, and you're all set up for that. In fact, the same people here on the Central Coast went to the Gulf to help with the oil disaster there from the BP spill, and that would happen here if we had anything like that in our area. So Sarah and Randall, really important work being done here, and all basically done by volunteers, donations from the community, and there are lots of ways for any of our viewers who want to get involved. We have a link, story links on our website if they want to find out how they can help in very small ways, little things we can all do every day.
Very cool, Patty.
Yeah, incredibly well done there. Thank you, Patty. I look forward to every segment after this as well.
We have lots more coming up.
I know that a piece is really great when I completely forget that I'm even sitting up here. I was just sort of like watching it wasn't until I heard in my ear, that you were finishing up your segment. I was like, oh, whoa, okay, yeah. I'm not at home watching TV. I'm watching
Well, stay
it here.
tuned because we have some more really cool stuff to show you.
All right, thank you.